Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So, a long time no talk. It has been definitely so hectic lately. And I knew it was coming. I knew that it was going to be hard to film and get basically anything done when it came to this time in my pregnancy. Today it's actually December 13th, so it's been a hot minute since I filmed any kind of update, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, and I definitely still wanted to keep track and just share with you everything that's going on through my pregnancy. But as of today, we are actually 35 weeks, which is insane to me. My last update was still the first part of my second trimester. So today it's actually going to be updating you on what happened during the second part of my second trimester, which is weeks 20 through 28. And then I'm going to be doing one more update, which is just a one-part series for my third trimester update, which I'll probably be filming around week 36, 37, because once we get into week 36, 37, it's fair game, as we all know. And yeah, other than that, I mean, I feel like a lot changed once I got into my third trimester, as far as like physically how I feel and physically how I look. This bump has grown like insane since the last time I gave you guys a bump date, which I'll show you guys right now. He's just growing so much right now, and I'm definitely starting to feel it, but I'll save all that for the third trimester update. And then after that will probably be my birth vlog, and I do plan on filming as much as possible. I really don't know what the hospital is going to allow and exactly how much footage I'll be able to get, but I definitely going to do my best to try and get as much of that as possible. So I will be doing the vlog, and I will be doing a separate birth story where I can kind of sit and talk to you guys about how everything went and, you know, really process like my thoughts and emotions during all that, because I don't think I'll be able to do all that in the vlog. It's just going to be kind of showing you guys exactly what is happening, and then we'll get into it, you know, probably do some Q&A and stuff during my birth story. Let's get into the second part now of my second trimester, which now seems like forever ago. So honestly, a lot of the reason why I kind of took a long time to even film this was because I really didn't feel like a whole lot went on during my second part of the second trimester. Everything was just kind of like moving along as it should. Doctor's appointments were not as frequent during this time. It's just not really it wasn't a eventful time for the pregnancy for me during this period. It was kind of like a little bit of a break and breather, you know, just continuing to grow. And I did have a couple of those important doctor appointments as far as like my glucose screening and stuff like that, but it really did start off slow. So it's so crazy to look back on these notes because things are so different now. So week 22 through 23, I actually was able to finally start to see like little movements. Like, you know, if you were to kick, I could see my belly like jump a little bit. And I got so excited because I was like, this is finally it. Even though I had started to, you know, feel him move inside, like the little flutters, I was just dying, you know, for that moment to come where Danny could finally feel his movement. So I thought, okay, if I can see it, maybe he can feel it. Unfortunately though, even though you can see the movement, you can see my belly jump a little. At that time, I would have Danny like feel, and he's like, I can't feel it. So I was like, dang, I thought like they were gonna be strong enough, but it still wasn't strong enough for him to feel anything externally. But I was getting really excited because I knew that was gonna like happen soon. And I don't know about you guys, how you feel, like, you know, those of you who have gone through pregnancies and stuff and with your partner, you know, I just was so looking forward to that part because really relatively before that, I mean, like, yes, I'm pregnant, Danny knows I'm pregnant, obviously, but like, it's all just been me experiencing certain things, you know, even the doctor's appointments, like, you know, with everything going on right now with COVID still, he still can't go, he hasn't been able to go this whole time, so like, it's just been really uneventful for him, and I was like, this is the first thing, and one of the only things that he'll actually be able to participate on is like feeling when, you know, he's moving. So I was just like looking forward to that probably more so than had like we been in a different time, you know, without all of this stuff going on, because it's just so much that we go through as the pregnant person and that our partners just kind of like have to sit and watch. So I was like still trying to keep an eye on to when he was going to be able to feel that. I also feel like at this time, because you know my belly was starting to really pop out more, is when Wesley started to act really different. I really can't say like he's been super different, but since then and now he's definitely become more attached to me, in the sense that like he kind of is like always near me and around me, which kind of gets more and more. I don't know if it's like the hormones. I know they say animals can like smell out things. Maybe he can smell that like I'm pregnant and something about to happen. Visually, they say they can see a difference in our bodies. So I don't know, but definitely started to notice that. And then kind of interestingly too, we all hear about the pregnancy dreams, how like our dreams become so much more vivid and realistic in pregnancy. And Danny was experiencing that too in his dreams, which I thought was interesting. I have a big belief that this comes just with like becoming a first-time parent. It's like a lot of our anxieties just kind of like overwhelming our mind, and at night when we're finally turning them off, everything just kind of is like all still up there trying to get figured out. So I think that's what's happening, but I thought that was interesting, and I don't know, I'm curious to see if anyone else, you know, had their partner experience like intense dreams as well. So finally, actually then on week 24, which was what we hit exactly 6 months, right? Like around 6 months, yeah. Danny was finally able to feel kicks, and it was so fun. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh. And it's hard because sometimes you're like, okay, feel, and then like nothing. But luckily, this kid performed well. He does perform well, actually. I'm like really proud of him. I'm like, ooh. I think he's an attention seeker in a way, so it's interesting. And then around this time, because my belly was finally starting to, I feel like, really pop out. I remember it was like from one day to the next, where like my in-laws saw me, my mom saw me, they were just like, whoa, like where did this belly come from? Which I definitely feel like I started off this pregnancy carrying really small. And like now towards the end, I don't know if it's because I'm just a shorter person, I have a really short torso, but because now he's in that stage where it's like a lot of growth happening, and because I am shorter, he doesn't have a whole lot of room, I feel like I'm just protruding out so much. Like I look at my belly and like that's all I see. I tell Danny, I feel like a ball because it's just like belly. So it's so weird. So around this time, I started to feel my stomach become a little itchy, and I was like, okay, so I kind of upped the oil applications. I learned a little bit more about how to treat stretch marks and how to hopefully ease them, if not, you know, prevent them, because of course, I don't think those, it's just one of those things where I'm not really sure if there's like a surefire way to prevent them. Like there's not a guaranteed way. You're either going to get some, you're not going to get some, you know, and the amount is always different. So just a slight note, what I learned was like it's all about hydration. And sometimes we get a little misconception that hydration means like oils and lotions, which is not necessarily true. So really hydration is like in the form of water and our skin having water content. So I heard on this podcast where they had a dermatologist on talking about stretch marks and the skin and how it works. Really the best way to help kind of ease and prevent, you know, the amount or intensity of your stretch marks is to utilize on how much water you can put on your skin in the sense. So either moisturize like 30 minutes, within 30 minutes of coming out of the shower, because your skin was just wet, it soaked up water. So lock in that water with oils and your creams, vitamin E oil, whatever you're using, cocoa butter, because oils seal in moisture and they won't let anything kind of penetrate after that. If you're not coming from the shower, if you've kind of had like that gap of window, if you just want to add extra water, then use a water-based moisturizer first, like aloe vera gel, a water-based like facial moisturizer. I've been using the Neutrogena one, the Hydra Boost. And you can tell when a moisturizer is water-based, it feels very, very gel-like. It's really good for people who have oily skin. So put on your water-based moisturizer first, and then go in with your oils. Again, for the same concept, to just kind of like lock in those oils. So I started doing that. And then I had my glucose exam, which if you guys follow me on social media, you know I was like kind of freaking out about, because I hear so many mixed things about it. And if you're a pregnant person, or if you're someone who's like, you know, educating yourself on pregnancy and you've heard about this part of pregnancy, you know, you probably heard the same things. Like people say it's really gross, they throw up, blah, 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 blah. So I'm gonna tell you my personal experience. Again, yours may be different. I really think it just depends on like person by person. So I was nervous because one, I didn't know how gross this drink was gonna taste. And then two, it's one of those things where no matter how healthy you are, or how healthy you think you are, or how unhealthy you think you may be, whether you pass or fail it, there's like no surefire way or a way to guarantee that you will pass it. If you like do X, Y, Z, then you should pass it. There's almost like no way of telling, which is why it's called gestational diabetes. This is what this glucose exam tests for. It's because it's diabetes that just presents itself when you're pregnant, and it's like only when you're pregnant. And then as soon as you're not pregnant anymore, it like usually goes away. So it's so weird. So I was nervous because you guys know I'm all about like health and everything. And I was like, what if I fail this stupid test? And you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, an added thing in pregnancy that you don't want to have to worry about. It's not a big deal if you fail it. Obviously it's manageable. You will be more than likely fine, but it's just one of those things that I think everyone kind of hopes to bypass. So I go in that morning, they did tell me to fast the night before. I've heard different things on this, so go with what your doctor tells you to do. My appointment was early in the morning the next day. They told me at midnight the night before to just not eat anything. So that's what they told me, and that's what I did. The drink they gave me, one, it was chilled, so I think that helps. Two, it was fruit punch flavor, and it's not a big amount that they give you. Three, if I had to relate the flavor to something, it really did remind me of like those little barrel juice box things that they used to give us like when we were kids. I don't know if you guys remember. I'll put a picture in here and maybe that'll like pull a file from your memory deep somewhere. But to me, that's honestly what it tasted like. Was it really, really sweet? Yeah, but have I had things that taste sweeter? Hell yeah. I think I've tasted like, for those of you who like straight up love frosting, or like just really, you have a really big sweet tooth, this is probably like nothing, which is why I was worried about it, because I do not have a big sweet tooth. Now, give me something extremely salty, like if they were like, here, drink this salt water, I probably would have been like, okay, just because I tend to lean more towards the salty stuff than I do sweet stuff. But it was fine, actually, it was not bad at all. I was like a little worried, like, am I gonna get queasy afterwards? Like I said, in this pregnancy, I haven't really dealt with like nausea at all, so I think that helped too. If you are someone that's dealing with nausea in pregnancy, you may want to be cautious about it, but other than that, it's fine. And then the only sucky part after that is that you do have to wait for a little bit in order to get your results. So it's about an hour-long wait afterwards, and then, you know, they call you in, they draw your blood, see what's happening. So after the hour wait, they drew my blood. I was nervous, everything, but I came back and I passed it. So I was very, very happy with that, and it was a big relief. If you're someone who's worried about it, I would just ask your doctor, hey, is the drink you're gonna give me chilled? Two, do I have flavor options? A lot of people told me if you can't get the fruit punch one, which is the one I got, like to ask for that one. And yeah, I think if you can at least ask about that, then you'll be fine, and just try not to stress about it. And you know, if you're someone who relatively does watch what they're eating, is relatively like healthy, you know, whatever health means to you, you should be fine. But again, nothing's guaranteed with any of this in pregnancy. You may experience something totally different simply just because you are pregnant, and just everything can be more sensitive. So, and around this week is when we started to get really serious about cleaning up the quote-unquote nursery, which I'll get into probably later in the third trimester update, but I'll just say it right now. Are we gonna have an actual nursery? I'll tell you y'all, I'll be honest, no we're not. At least not when he gets here. So something else that I wanted to include in this video, I had told myself at the 24-week mark that we were gonna begin doing some type of work on the nursery. So I am going to do a complete different video on like a nursery tour and all of that, but in this one I wanted to include and show you guys exactly where we're starting at, because it's going to be a lot of work. So yeah, let me just show you where we're at right now, what our extra bedroom looks like. So this, believe it or not, at some point is going to be our nursery. It's filled with stuff, all my husband's stuff. Yeah, this is his like workspace, but it's just a lot. And so we definitely already have ideas of what we want to do, but there's only so much that I can do because, like I said, most of the stuff is his, so I don't want to, like, you know, move things around. But there are things that I can get started on. So all of that up there is mine. I'll be honest, that is a lot of like PR makeup, old makeup. A lot of it is really old. Like, I can't even give it away or donate it because it's over like at least a year old or so. So I really need to go through that and see what's in there, because I don't even know at this point. It's been forever. And then we have some stuff here in this closet that honestly, it's just a mess. Like, it's a mess. I'm so embarrassed showing this. But as long as we just go through it, you know, I just need to start organizing. So this is going to be my project. So we have a 3-bedroom house. One of those bedrooms obviously is our master. Second bedroom is the one that I actually work out of as my office, which is this one that I'm in right now. And then third bedroom is our extra bedroom, which was going to be like a guest room. Danny also works from home. So he's kind of working out of there. He's been working out of there for a hot minute. And, you know, that was going to eventually turn into our our first kid's bedroom. So ideally, I think if Danny wasn't someone that was self-employed and needed a workspace as well, it would have been no problem getting that room at least like prepared as a guest room and, you know, easily turning it into the nursery. Problem with that is that Danny does use it to work out of, so he does have a lot of stuff in there that is his that he uses for work. It's not like a massive amount that like can't be moved. It is easily moved and organized. And there's a closet in there that's not being used, which is great because that is what we're basically utilizing right now to store a lot of like baby clothes and baby things, which is fine. But to go in there and like paint the nursery, put furniture, crib, and all of that, the more and more we thought about it, the more and more we kind of like talk about how we want to, you know, really work our lives around our baby, those first few months where it's just like really tough because we're navigating this new phase and just raising a newborn. I just kind of said, you know, I would love to have that ideal cute nursery ready, but in reality, it's just not going to be doable. It's not going to be doable because Daddy kind of still needs space to work. And then 2, I mean, we're going to go more along the path of like having a bassinet in our master bedroom. And then when it comes to like during the daytime and feeding and this and that, I think I'm going to be really utilizing our living room, especially with COVID going on right now and stuff. Like, had it not been COVID, I know we probably would have had like a lot of visitors, and me knowing myself, I'm going to be like, okay, well, let's keep the living room clean, blah, 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 right? But we're not going to be really having any visitors other than our immediate family, and even then I don't know how like soon that's going to be, which is just our immediate family, like literally parents. That's it. You know, it's okay if my living room is kind of filled with baby things and, you know, nursing things, and just, it's fine for me for them to see that stuff. So I think we're really just be utilizing using our living space there. And the quote unquote nursery will be used for, storing, you know, extra things and just slowly turning it into his room. You guys, I'm even on the fence about getting a crib. I think we just are going to stick, from a lot of people that I've talked to, they say that they kind of never really even used their crib. So they're just doing the bassinet thing, and they're doing the pack and play, and that the pack and play really just ends up being like their bed as they even get bigger and they grow out of the bassinet. And so I'm just like, what's the point of buying this piece of furniture if I'm not really going to use it? I don't know. You guys let me know if you really feel like the crib was like 100% like, oh no girl, you need a crib, or like, nah, you know, my kid kind of never really slept in there, and then when they were old enough like that they were sleeping on their own, you know, what did they use? I've just heard a lot of people say they never really used it in the way that you think you're going to use it. And then two, like changing tables and stuff like that, you know, we're thinking about obviously getting a dresser for that room to just store more clothes and things that he'll need. But I'm just like kind of cool with putting like a changing, you know, mat on top of that, because I really feel like just a changing mat in like various rooms of the house is just gonna be the most realistic. So there's just really certain things about the nursery that I'm like, is it cute and beautiful? I love the way nurseries look. You know, do I need to have it ready to go when he gets here? I don't think so. So we're just gonna take our time in making the nursery a nursery as we go along. So really the whole nursery planning is just me organizing that room and cleaning things out, that just, because we basically use that room as storage, you know? Now it's just organizing all the things we've gotten from like our baby showers and baby gifts. And then we still have last minute purchases too that we're kind of wrapping up right now. And then we also signed up for an online birthing class. I am doing the class from Dr. Nicole Rankins. I talk about her podcast a few times on like my Instagram. Love her podcast. I feel like I've learned so much. Her podcast has made me feel so much more confident about the whole pregnancy and birth and labor experience in all aspects of it, whether you have vaginal, cesarean, home, hospital, medicated, unmedicated. So much information, things about the body, science, research, pregnancy related, and birth and labor related. I mean, it's an awesome podcast. I would recommend it to anyone to just start listening to it, because you will become so educated in things that like, you almost feel like, wow, why don't they tell us this? But I mean, a lot of it is medical, that like maybe your doctor just kind of feels like, well, like you're not an OB, so why do I need to tell you in a way? I don't know. I just feel like there's just a lot of information that's out there for us as pregnant people. Unfortunately, we have to do the legwork though to get that information. But she does offer an online birthing class, so Danny and I have been doing that. And it's been really good because I feel like it's also getting him informed. I want him to be as comfortable as possible when that time comes, because he will be my only birthing partner and support person, and he will be my main advocate. So I really need him on board and familiar with the lingo and what to expect, because he'll be right there swimming in these like uncharted waters with me. Now getting towards to the end of my second trimester, man, I felt such a change in my hips. I just feel like as I walk, I thought my legs are gonna collapse. I feel like my hips are gonna pop out. So my hips are definitely like that relaxin is doing what it needs to do, and my hips feel loose. Like it is really, really weird. So if I'm like laying down for too long, as soon as I get up, I'm like, oh, and it's, I guess because I'm laying on my left side most of the time, my right hip kind of like falls, I guess, like on top of itself onto my left side. So when I get up, it just feels like gnarly. Nothing crazy to where I'm in excruciating pain, but it's definitely, like, I can't ignore it. But then it goes away as soon as I start kind of moving, and you know, I'm definitely utilizing like pelvic floor exercises still, just really opening up my hips, my birthing ball, all that nice stuff. I'm still walking every evening. And at this point in my second trimester here, still going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, still strength training, still doing cardio on the Stairmaster. I didn't have a really big change in my physical activity until my third trimester. So again, I'll touch base on that when I film that update. At this point, like I said, because of the belly growing more rapidly, my belly band, which I'll link down below which one I use, I kind of talked about it. I purchased that thing so early on in my pregnancy, but I'm so glad I did because I use it so much. Starting at this point in my second trimester and up until now, that thing comes in clutch. Like at the end of my pregnancy, I'm gonna do like the top 5 or whatever, however many products it ends up being, but like my top pregnancy must-haves that I would recommend to any person for sure, because there are definitely like at least 5 things right now that come to mind that I'm like, you need this, like trust me, don't sit and suffer. And then week 26 was really exciting because we got to finally do our 4D sonogram, which my doctor thankfully offers as part of her practice, and it was so cool. I was so excited. So it was so interesting to see this little guy. I'll put clips in here, and I remember just kind of being there like, okay, I hope, like talking to him like, please be like in a good position, like really smile for the camera for mommy because I really want to see your face. And we got a really good image of him, and I feel like I can kind of start to see like little parts that are of me and parts that are of Danny. So I'm curious now to when we finally meet face to face how similar it was to this 4D sonogram. But it was awesome. I thought I was gonna be actually really emotional. I thought I was gonna cry. I actually didn't cry, surprisingly. So but I think I was just like in amazement. But that was super exciting. And then around this time is when I started to look into ordering my breast pump, which I did get through my insurance. So definitely take advantage of that. Hopefully, you know, we have a good breastfeeding journey. If not, it's okay, but it's definitely something I'm trying to, you know, stay positive about. But yeah, so I'm starting to get like a little breastfeeding station ready. So I do want to film those types of things too, like my breastfeeding station, my hospital bag packing. Will I get to it? I hope so. I don't know. We'll see where I'm at towards the very end here. And then towards week 27, 28, like the last couple of weeks of my second trimester, movements are hella strong at this point. Like they for sure like noticeable. Danny gets a kick out of it every time. He's like, man, that feels so strong. So, and I personally love it. Even up to now where I'm in week 35, I love feeling this kid move. I think it's just like reassurance for me. To me, it's peace of mind. I haven't had any painful like rib pains. I haven't had any painful like where they like kick you in the lungs or something. If anything, the ones that are like maybe the most uncomfortable but still not unbearable are like when I guess he's moving like really low and like dancing on my bladder, it feels like. But other than that, I love feeling him move. It doesn't bother me at night. I still sleep totally fine. As far as like a belly bump date, the best comparison at this time, because obviously right now I'm going to show you, but girl, I am big. The best comparison was my last video where I did my get ready with me for my maternity photos. And in those photos is kind of the best representation of what I looked like during that time of my second trimester. Because just like shortly, a couple weeks after week 28, I did my maternity photos, I want to say week 30. So it's been over a month since my maternity photo shoot, and I've grown so much since then, it feels like. So like, let me just show you guys this bump right now. So it's funny because I feel like if I'm standing like this, it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, obviously I feel like I've gotten a little bit bigger there in the chest area, but then it's like, whoa, I had no idea she was smuggling a watermelon. The table here is black too, but I'll put my chair there. So this is where we are at week 35. This is a huge change from the last time I gave you guys any type of bump update. So yeah, that's where we're at. And like I said, I feel like I'm just so pointy and it's all belly. It's insane. So that's all I have for now for my second trimester update. Like I said, I will be filming my third trimester update within the next coming weeks. And I'll have more time, hopefully, during that period because I will be officially done with work and beginning in my maternity leave. I am taking my maternity leave it's about like 2.5 to 3 weeks before my due date. Because week 37 and on, I really just kind of want to focus on like prepping my body for labor, and just doing those last minute things, you know, like washing all his clothes. I've already started, but there's just so much to do now. And it's just hard right now because I am still working. I am like, we're obviously going through the holiday season right now. There's just a lot happening during this time of year for us. So just trying to navigate through all that. But yeah, so that's it for now. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.